But then other news: Devin Vassell signed a contract extension. Let me get the full numbers. I don't know the full numbers, but
I
but
think
I
it's
know
five
five
5 years,
141,
149, I believe.
149,
Yep, and then
something
there's
like that.
also like another 11 million in unlikely
Unlikely
incentives.
extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a big fan of this contract. Honestly, I think Devin Vassell had a really good year last year. He averaged 18, 3, and 3 with a steal as well. Wasn't super efficient, but wasn't inefficient either. Like kind of one of the middle grounds. It kind of expected efficiency for a younger player.
Mhm.
But I think this is one of those contracts that's really just gonna age so perfectly. Like he he's only gotten better so far. And I
Yeah.
think when you're watching a player develop and you can get him at his current price and you believe he's going to be better, you should always pay him before his price goes up, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great, it was 5 years, 146 million.
Okay.
So, but one of the highlights of this contract that Ryan pointed out to us was that it's a descending contract, much like how Jalen Brunson's was that he signed with New York last year. And in his last year before I'm not sure if it's a player option or whatever it is. It's going to be a player option, I would assume. The last year is 24 million of the actual contract, which is going to be 15% of total cap space. And that's like essentially going to be with projected numbers. That'll be like less around or a little bit more than like a mid-level exception in like 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's honestly a great contract. I think it'll age similar to how Anthony Simon's contract aged. You know, they paid him early while they saw he was getting better, and you pay him, and he got better, and now he's really good. And you have a guy on a contract that would most likely be a $30 million plus player for 24. So
Yeah, I could argue that this is a better deal than the Anthony Simons deal just because of the two-way ability that Vassell brings. I don't know if he has necessarily the offensive showcase that Anthony did at the time,
yeah,
but
I think they're betting on the
he's.
offense developing more with Vassell.
I mean, he doubled his assist numbers. Uh, he's improved the offense every time.
Yeah, he shot
Increased his
38%
3-point
from
take,
three, which is pretty good.
Yeah, well, and he took two more attempts than the year before, so it's like
Yeah,
he took more attempts and got more efficient.
for sure.
Yeah, I think
Like, I don't
Vassell.
know.
I think Vassell is a really, really good player already, and I think he's going to get so much better.
Mhm.
I don't even I don't really know how he's still underrated because I feel like this summer, like the Vassell hype train got pretty loud. But like the reason why I say he could still be underrated is because like I feel like the general reaction to this contract was super weird. Like I don't really see a world where you can say this contract is like a massive overpay.
Yeah,
I think people are still getting used to like the sticker shock and like the
of the
new
price tag.
contracts of
Yeah.
the new NBA market.
Mm-hmm.
Because like people see $30 million a year and they're like, oh, that's what Kobe made in his prime. And it's like, well, $30 million a year now is like that's Vassell money, right? They could have paid him,
Yeah.
they could have
Tyler
paid
Hero
him,
money.
yeah, they could have paid him Vassell more than this, and I still would have felt like it was a great deal. But
Yeah.
yeah, the fact that they have it that he's on a descending contract is huge because the Spurs have cap space right now, but they aren't going to in like 4 years from now when they have to
Yeah.
extend
Smart teams.
Sohan and Wembanyama and Keldon and all them. So
Smart teams, if able to, would love every team would love to have every single player on a descending contract, but that's just
yeah,
not how it works, obviously. Especially with like super maxes and stuff and max contracts. Like obviously that's not how they work. But I think overall, when you look at the contract, also if he doesn't pan out for you, you can always offload that money because that money's not going to be that high in a
yeah,
few years. So
And depending with he fits the skill sets, so it's like
yeah,
and if it's only taking up 15% of the cap, there's a way you can keep him. Like right now, if he were to not improve offensively or defensively at all, and in the fourth year of this extension, he would be an 18-point per game scorer that provides good defense at the 2 and the 3 position. That will be valuable for a team with Wembanyama and Sohan. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
They're lacking a playmaker, but it's like they need a ball handler.
They got Trey Jones.
Oh, I forgot they have Trey Jones.
They'll figure out a playmaker. Like I'm
got
sure
Trey
for
Jones.
next draft. That's next draft.
Yeah, they'll figure that out. But like,
But they
I
got
just
some
think
guys
of
that you can like get excited about. Like they have Trey
Yeah.
Jones.
Malachi
they have-
Branham.
They just drafted
yeah.
City Sissoko, which he's
Yeah,
more of a
Sissoko,
wing,
I love.
but he plays guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the Spurs in just a little bit here, but so
And
we can get in the rest of the roster
Graham
then.
too. They got Devontae
Yeah.
Graham last year too.
Yep. But I just
He's
think about
decent.
I think about with this contract a 2027-2028 season because Vassell is making $24 million a year, which is projected to be around 15% of the cap. And you think about Wembanyama when he's 23 and Sohan when he's like 24, 25. And where they're going to be at in their careers, and Vassell, it's like I feel like that this contract for Vassell is such a bargain. Seriously,
Yes.
If
I
I'm
agree.
a Spurs fan, I am overjoyed with like how they've gotten Vassell locked
similar-
up for so long.
And it's very similar to the Keldon Johnson deal. Another descending contract that at the last year of it is 2026, 2027, 17 million a year. Like if those guys develop how you think they will, by that time, that contract's going to be a steal.